This is the Hsienyang, a Tier 7 Pan-Asian destroyer. The thing that's unique about the Pan-Asian destroyers is their deep water torpedoes. They have the potential to cause more damage and flooding to cruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers. But they will not hit destroyers, so you want to be mindful of that. The Hsienyang is at the top of the line at Tier 7, and it has better guns and torpedoes than the lower tier ships. So let's take a look at the setup of the ship and the commander, who is Hsienyang. His base trait is Quantum of Solace, increases the damage of your torpedoes and improves your destroyer's concealment. So you may want to consider using Hsienyang as an inspiration for other destroyer commanders. As for inspirations, I have Eric Bay Shifty, increases the concealment of your destroyer. Second inspiration is Jerzy Swirsky, Hide and Seek, increases the ship concealment rating, and this is your classic double concealment setup. The first skill is Subsurface Venture, reduces the torpedo launcher reload time and increases the torpedo travel speed, but it is at the cost of the main battery reload time. Look at Me Now is the second skill, increases the ship concealment rating, and this is the maximum concealment that you'll get with this destroyer with this commander setup. Third skill is Back in Stock, reduces the torpedo launcher reload time. Fourth skill is Smoke on the Water, increases the smoke screen deployment time as well as its dispersion time. As for the legendary skill, I have them ranked up to legendary rank 2. I've selected Unstoppable. It reduces the engine repair time and gains a reduced mobility with a disabled engine and or rudder. And the range to the enemy ship to activate the special effect is 4.5 kilometers. When you upgrade to legendary rank 3, the radius goes up to 6 kilometers. Alright, so let's take a look at the upgrades for the ship. First upgrade is Aiming Systems Mod 1. Dispersion of the main battery is improved by 7%, torpedo launcher traverse speed is improved by 20%, and a secondary battery firing range as well as its dispersion is improved by 5% respectively. The second upgrade is Propulsion Mod 2. Time taken to reach full power is cut in half when accelerating, down 50%, improved by 50%. Third upgrade is Concealment System Mod 1. Detectability range is improved by 10% and incoming fire dispersion is improved by 5%. Fourth upgrade is Torpedo Launchers Mod 3. Torpedo launcher reload time is improved by 15%. The risk of the torpedo launchers becoming incapacitated is increased by 50%, but that hasn't been too much of a problem in actual practice. And then I have the rest of the default upgrades here. The first one is the torpedoes, Mark 15 Mod 3. Maximum damage is 17,459. Torpedo range is 9 kilometers and torpedo detectability range by sea is 0.7 kilometers. The next upgrade is Targeting System 7 Mod 2. Firing range is increased 10% up to 11.5 kilometers, so this is getting pretty respectable. The last upgrade is the Hsienyang Hull B. Hit points is 15,500 and a rudder shift time is a respectable 3.5 seconds. Let's take a look at the loadout. You have your normal ammunition, high explosive shells, armor piercing shells, and deep water torpedoes, which we'll get into in a second. Then for the consumables, we have the damage control party. Consumable duration is 5 seconds, reload time is 40 seconds, and there is an unlimited number of these consumables. And then the second consumable is either the smoke generator or the radar. The radar has a 7.5 kilometer detection of ships. Consumable duration is 15 seconds and reload time is 180 seconds, and you have 2 of these consumables. But for me, the smoke generator is more useful. Consumable duration is 31.8 seconds, and for me this is very similar to rolling smoke, even though it's not rolling smoke, but as I said, it's very much like that. The smoke screen dispersion time is 74.2 seconds. Reload time is 120 seconds or 2 minutes, and there are 4 of these consumables, so I do find this very useful in battle. I don't have any boosters set up right here, but during a battle you may see some boosters flying. I don't have any camouflage set up, and you'll see why in the stats. Survivability, 15,500. Armor is 3 to 20 millimeters. You still don't want to get hit. Artillery, you have 4 guns. They reach out to 11.5 kilometers. As we saw, the reload time is 3.7 seconds, and this is awesome. This is the best reload time of any Pan-Asian destroyer. Turn time, the traverse speed, is 5.3 seconds. This is also by far the best traverse speed of any Pan-Asian destroyer. As for the shell damage, it's right around 2,000 with a 5% chance of setting fire. As for the torpedoes, you have 2 quintuple launchers, 5 torpedoes in each launcher. Reload time is 80.4 seconds. Maximum damage is 17,459. Detectability range by sea is 0.7 kilometers. Range is 9 kilometers, and the speed is 64 knots, as is usual with the other Pan-Asian destroyer torpedoes, but these are rated as the best torpedoes in the Pan-Asian destroyer line, in my opinion. Here are your AA defensive numbers. There's a fair number of AA defenses here. As for maneuverability, maximum speed is 38 knots, which is awesome. Turning circle radius is 570 meters, which is great. And the rudder shift time is a respectable 3.5 seconds, as I said. And here's a concealment rating of 99. This is why I didn't set up any camouflage yet. Detectability range by sea is 5.3 kilometers, and detectability range by air is 2.9 kilometers. Let's take a look at the armor. And yeah, you can see you don't want to get hit here, and that is really all that I'm going to say about the armor. Let's look at the overview. Reloader, above average main battery reload speed, and we certainly saw that. Nimble aim, above average main battery traverse speed, gives an edge in close quarters combat, and that is no kidding. That is a very quick traverse speed on this destroyer. And then deep water torpedoes are harder to spot but cannot hit destroyers, and this is the shortest detection range of any of the Pan-Asian destroyers at 0.7 kilometers. So we'll see how it works out in a battle. The Hsienyang was a Gleaves-class destroyer built for the U.S. Navy. The ship was transferred to the Republic of China in 1955. Her armament consisted of dual-purpose main battery guns and 2 quintuple torpedo tubes. Entered service in 1942, and there were a whopping 66 ships in the series. Alright, well that's it for the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go out in a standard battle and check out some highlights. Right, we're in standard, we're in trident, and in the first part of this battle video here, we're going to go over to sea, and ultimately the Hsienyang is going to go head-to-head against 2 battleships, and we're going to see if we can take them out. So I'm looking at the teams here. There's a Fletcher. There's only 1 destroyer per side, so this is good for me, I think. Chances are the Fletcher's not going to come anywhere near me, so I'm looking like I have an open run of the map here, so this is great. And I'm going to head over to sea, and I'm going to look to take and capture sea while keeping an eye on these ships here in front of me. The Hsienyang does have really fast traverse speed, really fast reloading guns. It's among the quickest of the destroyers. I think only the Friesland has quicker reloading guns. And the deep water torpedoes really do seem to cause a flooding every time you get a hit. So there is massive damage with pretty much all of these Pan-Asian destroyers with their deep water torpedoes, especially with the Hsienyang, as you're going to see here in a couple of minutes, I think. But we are closing in and we are within range of the Iowa. So there is another battleship just behind the Iowa, and ultimately both of those battleships are going to end up in sea trying to confront the Hsienyang. And my teammates are taking some pot shots at those battleships. It's in North Carolina and Iowa. So as soon as we clear this island here, I'm going to be looking to take a shot at the North Carolina, and then I switch over to the Iowa and I do like a double barrel shot with both of those torpedo launchers. So we're just going to go into sea and start capturing it and wait this out and see how well these torpedoes do. So here I did start the smoke, and the smoke does run for 30 seconds, so it is it's like semi-rolling smoke, I think. I am spotted, but as soon as I stop, the smoke will engulf me and I'll be okay. So there, the North Carolina takes 2 torpedo hits and 2 floodings. The Iowa takes another torpedo hit and a flooding. So we have 3 torpedo hits and 3 floodings on 2 battleships. So the damage is really racking up kind of quick here, and we're up to 44,000 plus. And I'm just going to start hammering this Iowa with HE and see if I can start some fires and kind of keep this person's life miserable as he's trying to pursue the smoke cloud, I think. So the torpedoes are 10 seconds away from reloading, and we can look to take some more shots here, but as long as I'm not visible, I'm not worried about it. But now I am visible, so I'm reloaded right now, and the North Carolina is within range, so I took a shot at him. I think he's pretty much done. I'm going to take a lucky shot over here at the Iowa and hope I get one hit. He looks like he's still flooding, and damage is racking up 91,000 plus, and a destroyed ship. The North Carolina is gone, and the Iowa is gone. And that is a rare double kill right there. At least I haven't had too many of them, and so this just fell in my laps. This was a gift from the World of Warships gods. So the next match is going to be a standard match in Crash Zone. And again, we're going to take off over towards sea. It just happens to be that way. And we're going to look to spot some of the red team ships for my team, as well as see if we can get some more damage on some of the red team ships. Alright, so the Hsienyang is one of my 2 favorite Pan-Asian destroyers. It probably is my favorite Pan-Asian destroyer. The close second is the Gaja Mada, which also gets pretty good performance for me, but the Hsienyang with the higher damage output of their torpedoes really seems to be pretty effective for me. It really took out those 2 battleships in that previous match. So I'm looking at the teams here. There is an Atlanta, which has radar. Hipper, Bismarck all have sonar, so I have to be careful of that. But that Atlanta with its radar, you don't want to mess with that. So you want to be mindful of the radar cruisers, because they will mess up your your great concealment that you might have on your Tier 7 destroyers. It could be all for naught if you get hit with a radar. So great concealment doesn't always mean everything in a Tier 7 destroyer. There's this Ignis Purgato that looks like he's just sort of steady on. He's a little bit out of range right now, but I'm going to start capturing sea and see if I could get a lucky shot in between the gap of islands over here, slightly to my right. But I am definitely targeting this battleship, and we're just going to wait this out and see if he changes course or not. A lot of times people do. I'm hitting the smoke just to be on the safe side. He is within my main gun range, but I'm afraid if I start firing, he'll become aware of me. So I'm going to hold off on hitting him with my main guns and just wait until the targeting indicator says that he is going to be within that gap. So I'm going to let both of those racks go. A minute and 15-second reload time or thereabouts. And I figure that will give me plenty of time after these torpedoes run themselves out to get another set of torpedoes loaded, and I can get some more shots on the torpedo if he is a target of opportunity. So these torpedoes look great. It looks like the 0.7 kilometer concealment is really playing itself out right here, and there are 2 more torpedo hits, 2 floodings, 3 torpedo hits, 3 floodings, and we get a 4th torpedo hit and a 4th flooding. So really, when you look at the previous match and this match, every time you get a hit with these torpedoes, they do cause a flooding. So if you're in a havoc and you're looking for floodings, the Pan-Asian ships might be something you want to consider, because they do seem to get floodings more often than not. So our torpedoes are almost reloaded, and looks like the Atlanta did turn on his radar. And I took a random shot there, kind of a fishing expedition, hoping to get a lucky hit. But the Atlanta is gone, so no lucky hit on that guy. But the Ignis Purgado is still in play, and the radar from the Atlanta momentarily lit me up, and it looks like I was hit from that cruiser back there. I think it's a cruiser at long range, probably 10 kilometers or so. So I'm almost ready to reload my smoke, and I'm holding off my main gunfire till the smoke reloads. All right, so now I'm hitting the Purgado with my main guns as I hit the smoke, and the Purgado is gone, got taken out by the blue team battleship right there. So now it's time to head on to A, which is not held by the blue team. So I'm going to head over to B and A, and in due course B is going to become occupied by the red team, and we're going to have to retake B. So here you can see that B is almost taken by the red team, and we did move all the way out here, time warp, and the Akazuki did kind of light up for me, as well as the Scharnhorst. So I'm going to come to a station right here, and I'm going to fire my torpedoes, but I think that dead hulk of that destroyed ship is going to block out some of the torpedoes. I did hit the smoke. This looks like a good position to hit both of these ships with my main guns. And those torpedoes are no problem. The airplanes from the aircraft carrier are still circling around. And the Scharnhorst is going broadside on me. And this actually looks pretty good for my torpedoes, but I think the torpedoes that may have hit the Scharnhorst end up hitting the hulk of that destroyed ship, that sunken ship right there, and we totally miss out. The second rack of torpedoes that I fired, I think, get taken out by the island, and they definitely would not hit that destroyer anyway. And stay tuned for the end of the video here, and you will see a clip of a deep water torpedo completely missing a destroyer in Two Brothers. But for this match, we're just going to continue to try to nail this Akazuki and hope we get a destroyed ship here. Could use a little bit more accurate guns. Getting 1 out of 4 hits, it seems like. 1 out of 5 hits. We are up to 73,000 damage and climbing. We were at 61,000 before this gun engagement started here. So with just the guns from the Hsienyang, we did rack up 10,000 damage with only HE. So the main guns can be kind of potent. They are really quick reloading, and that is part of the reason for that. Haven't really caused any fires out of 31 main gun hits, so that's something to keep in mind. So now the last part of the match, the only thing that we have left is the implacable. Everything else on the red team has been destroyed. And I abandoned going down to A because I was looking to get another destroyed ship here. And the implacable torpedoes were, that was all for naught. There was a big miss. I believe that the targeting reticle on those torpedoes were not paralleled out when he took that run on me. And now he's going to come back with HE bombs, and you can see the carpet bombs in fairly short order do hit me, and that is really, you know, I've had enough of that. So the implacable is stuck in the corner here. He was stuck on the edge of the border like a fly on fly paper, and he couldn't really move, so he really is immobile. And I have no other choice really other than to hit my smoke and keep out of the detection of these airplanes. If they get me, it will be a lucky hit. We've got a minute and 10 seconds left in the smoke, so by that time the torpedoes will be reloaded. They'll be reloaded before the smoke expires. So here these torpedoes do look pretty good. The implacable is definitely stuck. 76,000 damage, and we get one torpedo hit and another flooding. And we get a second torpedo hit and a second flooding. So every single torpedo hit throughout this gameplay sequence caused a flooding. So you want to keep that in mind with your Pan-Asian destroyers. So we got a victory, 397,000 credits, 89,000 total damage, 61 main target hits, 6 torpedo hits, a destroyed ship, 6 flooding. So that is something you definitely want to keep in mind. We got 2 captured flags, so we did rack up some pretty good XP. You can see I had the epic boosters going, and first place overall on the team result. Look at that, 2,844 XP. That's getting close to the 3,000 XP milestone. In the economy tab, we did clear 256,000 credits by the time it was all said and done. Well, that's it for the Hsienyang. The Pan-Asian destroyers are a lot of fun to play, at least I think so, and their deep water torpedoes definitely cause floodings just about every time they get a hit, so you will rack up the damage pretty quickly as long as you can get torpedo hits. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.
Torpedoes to port.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser. Off to a great start.